Well, hello again and welcome to Roland's Reviews. I told you that I was starting a new series, OHS Spotlight. Hello, they're all coming in now. Hello, everyone in the comment section. OHS Spotlight to highlight former OHS students who are doing extremely well. And guys, who knows? So we're all at different places emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. You never know when you can influence someone or motivate someone to improve their situation. So hey, uh, uh, I want to welcome Omar Blue. As much as I love him because he is a former student, he is making me feel old. All right. So, Omar, I taught at Overhills Middle School in seventh grade in 2002. Omar was a 2008 OHS graduate. Now, don't start adding all these numbers up, okay? Because then you guys will be trying to figure out my age. So Omar is doing very well with real estate, and I wanted him to come on. You know how we do, share some of his experiences. You guys ask questions in the comment section, okay? He'll answer them, okay? And we'll do our kumbaya like we always do, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to have Omar to introduce himself and just type your questions in the comment section, and he's going to go ahead and get it kickstarted. Omar, how are you?
Hey y'all, I'm doing quite amazing. Thank you kindly for asking. So I am Omar Blue. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker Advantage here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Coldwell Banker is the number one firm in the industry right now. We are rocking and rolling. So I'm kind of a part of something that's major. We do not have the largest amount of agents. However, we do the most amount of business in this area. And it's been like that for some years on end. And I have been with them since I became a realtor. So I received world-class training. It has been a joyous experience thus far.
Okay, that sounds good to me. Now, Omar, okay, and your aunt is here in the comment section. She's saying hello, hello, Leslie, Lucinda, Lady Libra, Sugar Daddy, everyone who's here. Omar, if you will, from our discussions, I also learned that you did attend an HBCU. So, can you briefly explain some of your experiences at Fayetteville State University?
Yes, I graduated from Fayetteville State University in 3 years in a summer session. So I graduated a year early, essentially. I was a business administration student with a concentration in just general studies. And it was a great experience just to be around, people of like-mindedness.
Okay.
And I was a commuter student, so I did not stay on campus, but I
Okay.
was able to work full time and just sort of get my degree. I'm a first generation college graduate.
Wow.
And it's just something I don't know that I hold very near and dear to my heart.
Okay. Now, were you interested in real estate when you were at OHS, or did that come later? Because I never knew you were interested in real estate.
So I don't know why I always thought I'd be in some form of sales. Okay, true story. I always thought it would be something dealing with cars. But I remember being a little boy, and my choir director at church, her name was Miss Denise. Miss Denise, what she did was she used to renovate properties, and she used to rent them out. And so she took a duplex and she took this shell of this duplex and she made it this amazing house. And
Oh,
so
wow.
that's kind of where my interest like very, very first started into like kind of sort of like real estate.
Right.
Oddly enough, I used to run a Taco Bell, and the Taco Bell was behind a real estate class or a real estate school. And so all of the students used to come in there, and this was after I got my degree. And it was just a thought, and it was a thought until God laid something, special on my heart, and that thought kind of, it morphed into something else, and now here we are.
Wow. So, what was your inspiration? So the lady at church, was that your inspiration?
Yes, it was actually.
Wow. Oh my goodness. What do you feel that was the best career decision that you've ever made?
Yes, it is. My mother or father, neither one of them owned a home. And so I didn't even know what it looked like. And I remember when me and my wife, we bought our first home some years ago. I didn't know what to expect. I just knew I
Right.
wanted to be a realtor. And so that's why now I kind of specialize in first time homeowners,
Right.
because sometimes you don't know what to do. You just know you want to do it. And
Right.
so, I just kind of tailor my approach to educating clients on what to expect in the home buying process. And even if you bought a home, maybe let's say, for instance, you've been in your home 15, 20 years,
Right.
the state of the market has changed drastically. So you're still kind of new, and so just kind of educating people on what to expect is just kind of, something that is very imperative. And I think that's what kind of helped a lot.
That was an excellent response, Omar. Now, if someone asked you, what would you say are some current challenges that you face or that people face in the real estate industry?
So current challenges are just understanding how things shift. These are very fluid times that we're living in. And so the state of the market is extremely fluid. But again, it goes back to my first point. It's just being properly prepared up front. You as the consumer, when you're seeking lenders, who's going to fund your loan to purchase this home, unless you have cash. Some people got it like that, but if not, you have to rely on the bank. You sort of need to do what they tell you to do. So they so they say, hey, I need for you to accomplish A, B, and C in order for us to give you, $250,000 to buy a home. You sort of have to do that. And you sort of have to make sure it's done the way they say it's done, right? And so
Right.
that's
Right.
probably one of my biggest challenges is making sure that people understand what it takes to kind of get a institution to give you money to buy a home.
Right. Okay, that sounds good to me. Everyone in the comment section, if you have question for Omar Blue, uh, just ask him. I'll read them out for you. Some of you are or maybe already own homes. Some of you may be interested in purchasing additional homes in the future. So whatever your questions are, this is the young man that you need to um, ask. All right, so that's right. Sure. We're gonna make sure you have all of his contact info before he leaves. Okay.
That's funny.
Now, Omar, how would you define career success in the real estate industry?
So the word success is a word that is different to everybody.
Right.
So it's a great question. She said, "How do I define it?" It's fulfilling to see people make it to the closing table and find the perfect home. So those are successful moments, right? Those moments that you are able to see someone accomplish something that they kind of set their heart out to do. Whether it's a first-time homeowner or whether it's someone downsizing or whether it's an investor. I love investors, by the way. Who's just kind of looking for that property that's going to, fit directly and perfectly into their portfolio.
Right.
And so just kind of having that balance of all of it, just kind of getting to the closing table, making sure it's a smooth and seamless transaction. None of them really are, but they all have the unique challenges. And just making sure that my clients are happy at the end, because that's essentially what it's about.
Right. Okay. So now we know, like you said, the market's fluid. It changes. You go from a buyer's market to a seller's market, vice versa. Would you describe the current real estate market as a buyer's market or a seller's market?
It's still currently a seller's market. However, buyers have more buying power than they did maybe 9, 10 months ago.
Okay.
So you are able to, ask for concessions now. So where before you just got the house and you had to pay over it. And that was just the end of the discussion, right? Now
Right.
you can actually, you have some room for negotiations. You have some room to ask for some closing costs, especially in new construction. You have some room, to ask for things to be fixed that's wrong in the home.
Right.
But we still do not have enough inventory. And so that's what makes this market still unique. There's still not enough inventory. And Fayetteville, North Carolina is kind of in a bubble. So we don't really face the same challenges that anybody outside of Fayetteville have. And that's solely because of Fort Bragg. Fort Bragg or Fort Liberty, soon to be. What it does is it just brings people in and out so rapidly. You don't have to stay in the home 5, 10 years in order for you to be, great. You can stay in the house 1 to 2 years and then move on with your life.
So yeah, that sounds about right. We know this is a very transient community here, as you said. Okay, and Pope Air Force Base is here as well. So, and I've already told you, I have students who are interested in going into the real estate business. So, what's some advice that you would give to someone who has that interest and that they or someone who's ready to get started right now in the real estate industry?
First and foremost, you would need grit. Okay, so I'm a firm believer that you can do anything you set your heart and your mind to do if you really commit yourself to doing it. And so a lot of times people think that being a real estate agent is easy. They think it's something that is you just make $100,000 and you don't put a lot of time. You work 2 hours a week. You
Right.
have the weekends off. It's definitely not that. You absolutely have to you have to remain tenacious. There's going to be situations that arise. You have to be creative. You have to be educated, informed, and really you have to be, I don't know, self-reliant. You have to be a person that's self-driven. And if you're one of those people that give up easy, real estate probably will break you. And it's a statistic that most realtors do not make it 3 years.
Really?
Really. And it's because people think it's way easier than what it is.
Mhm.
Also, you just have to, you gotta stay abreast with what's going on around you in order for you to sort of make it. You can't be entitled and expect like your friends are going to use you. You kind of have to earn that.
Right. Okay. And I'm glad you said that because people on the outside looking in, they'll look at someone, oh, that's an easy job, and they don't have a clue.
They don't have a clue. That's true.
And so, how do you set yourself apart from other realtors?
Because I'm Omar Blue. That's easy. So you are you. God made us all very uniquely. I'm a firm believer in Christ, right? And so God made us all unique, and nobody has Omar Blue personality. And a lot of things kind of came with that. I believe that the Holy Spirit has always been my business partner, and so I seek the counsel of the Lord in everything that I do, and I believe that has really helped me. Another thing I think, I worked 16 years in the quick service restaurant industry. So it sort of taught me to remain nimble. It sort of taught me, it absolutely taught me to remain nimble. You have to be quick on your feet. And it gave me a lot of transferable skills. So a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't understand the things that you can obtain from working a regular job. I got business acumen. I got, financial skills, how to read a P&L. I got how to make a P&L. I understand how to manage inventory. I understand, how to get to work on time, how to show up, how to put my customer service face on. Those are all skills that I've learned in the actual workforce before becoming an entrepreneur. A lot of people just sort of want to kind of skip the skip the first step and jump all the way to the top of the stairs.
All right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I tell students that all the time. So I'm glad that you brought that up. We're always talking about career success skills, and you just covered the entire gamut. And so, what would you say is the most okay? So each career there's good and bad. What would you say personally is the most difficult part of being a realtor?
That probably would be again goes back to people. It takes all of the Lord's children to make this world what it is. And so people's minds change. So they say, hey, I want this 5-bedroom home. It must be in this school district. It must have this stuff, right? So you kind of tailor your approach to make sure you get them what they need. And then they say, okay, well, we want to go see a house all the way over in Harnett County. But you told me you had to be in Fayetteville. So again, it goes back to being nimble and just understanding that people are not very forthcoming with you. So you kind of have to, what is the word I'm looking for? You got to be nosy. You kind of have to pry behind the scenes. I know what you're telling me, but trust but verify. And so if you don't have that, if you're uncomfortable having uncomfortable conversations, that's probably going to be very hard for you. And you must be okay with talking to people. We live in a very tech-savvy society. I love a good text message versus a call. But I also know how to pick the phone up and call you and talk to you, or have that face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball communication.
Right. So I'm glad you said that. So you just talked about the most difficult part, and obviously you have to be a good communication skills person. Now, you said you've always wanted to go into sales. Okay, Omar, I knew from a very early age I would not go into sales. I would be in the poorhouse because I'd come to you and try to sell you something. You'd say no, and I'd just be shattered. Okay, so you found your niche. If somebody asks you your very favorite part about being a realtor or a real estate agent, what would you say is numero uno?
It's the connection with people. Just meeting people and connecting with them. and just connecting them with on the level where they trust you and building that trust with them. Because some people have um, things in their life that causes them not to trust people, just naturally. And so you kind of have to break past those barriers for them to earn your trust. And you can't feel entitled, but like you have to trust me. No, they don't know you.
And you're right, because like you said, you have to, go behind the scenes, because they can tell you, oh, I want to buy a $500,000 house. But then if you see their income, you're like, well, no, you're thinking, what are they talking about? There's no way that's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So transparency obviously is very important in your profession. Now, who would you say is your biggest role model?
In the real estate career, it'd be Megan Gerber. She's my trainer with Coldwell Banker Advantage.
Okay.
And Megan is the training navigator for Coldwell Banker for all of the offices here in the area. And she's just an amazing individual, and she genuinely cares. She has the heart of a servant. She's one of those people that's going to equip you and empower you, but she's also going to hold you accountable. So she's going to give you all the tools in the world to be great, but it's up to you to implement them. And
Right.
she's very authentic, and so that just kind of make me. I love authenticity in people, as opposed to someone that's going to give you
Yeah.
a perfectly curated version of themselves that you can see straight through.
Right. Very good response. Okay. Everyone who's here, please go ahead, hit that little thumb, the like button, share this out on your various forms of social media. Joe Boo's day job has a question. Is there a price per foot for local businesses or rentals? Joe Boo, I'm not quite sure about the end of that question. I'll come back to you. Okay. So what qualities, because in each of my classes, talk about career success skills that you need to make it in any profession. Now, what are some qualities, career success skills you think students would need if they're interested in becoming realtors?
We just hit the nail on the head with communication. You have to be an effective communicator. You must be able to, I don't know, just have that business acumen where you can understand dollars and cents.
Okay. Okay.
So maybe basic math skills. You must also be an effective time. You gotta have effective time management skills as well. So nobody's gonna make you go to work. It's not a job where nobody's gonna make you go. So you gotta have effective time management skills and understand how to juggle it all.
Right.
Something that's very imperative.
So you definitely have to be a self-motivated person. So if you're the type of person where someone has to come behind you, okay, let's you're not it's not going to work.
It's not. You might need to join the military.
Exactly. Joe Booth said, is there a price per foot for business versus residential? Is there a big, I guess he's asking if there's a big difference between price per square footage in business versus residential?
It's all predicated upon the area. So here in Fayetteville, everyone wants the Jack Brick School District area. So you can take an apple, and put it, in two different parts of this town, and the price is just going to be different. So it's all about the area. That's price and condition, and it's all about the area. So that's what sells a home. Same thing with commercials.
Right. Thank you so much. Your former teacher, Miss Council, is on here. Okay. So yeah, we have a few more here coming in. So thank you, Reese Cup. Question. What have you, and everyone's experience is different, but I thought I would ask, okay, depending on where you've worked, companies you've worked for, we all have various experiences, good and bad, positive and negative. Have you personally experienced any racism, or have you witnessed? Now, I'll preface it with, I just read a recent article on the CNN website, which I'm going to do a video on this, and it shows where African Americans' homes, they'll get their home, evaluated, and then they'll have their white friends go, and the realtors don't know if they change places, and it'll be valued $400,000 or $500,000 more. So have you witnessed any racism?
So racism is something that's very prevalent. Okay, it is. We know it's there. People know it's there, and I believe as African Americans, most of us have learned to live with it. There are certain people who are open-minded and they have embraced all cultures. They don't see color. And then there are certain cultures or certain people who that's just who they are. But it goes back to it takes all the Lord's children to make this world what it is, right? So we
Exactly.
love them all in spite of how they may feel about us. I worked in the quick service restaurant industry for over 16 years since
Yep.
high school. In the industry, racism is of course real. But that has never stopped me from achieving anything that I've wanted to achieve because it's all about how you set yourself apart from what they expect for you to be. We all love the hood, we all love the ghetto, right? But you can't be blatantly ghetto and not expect for people to judge you, especially in a society or a world where it's not, necessarily welcome. In real estate, people have their purposing realtors. Some people want a Caucasian realtor because they're Caucasian. Some people want a black realtor because they're black. Some people want a male realtor because they may be male chauvinist. Some people want what they want.
Right.
Some people want female realtors. It's just the way of the world.
Right.
But you can't really get yourself like angry about it. We have got to get out of the mindset of, because we were slaves. Because now you are slaving your mind, and it's kind of even worse than being captivated,
Yeah.
somewhere and chained down.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in this world. As long as your faith is in God, as children of God, we are the light of the world. We are a chosen generation that is set apart. There is nothing that you cannot achieve again if the Lord has ordained it for you. Okay.
Right.
So we cannot get ourselves stuck there and stay there. And if you are put in that position where you're faced with it, you have to be mindful of your how do you respond to it? Because sometimes we give them exactly what they want, and we give them the bullet to put into the gun. So you can never give them the bullet, especially when they have the gun.
Right. And so I'm glad I need you to come talk to my students. I have a student. Well, she's not actually a student. She's a student, African American female that I have an excellent rapport with. And she was working at McDonald's. So I asked her last week, how's the job? Well, I got fired. So, a manager said something she didn't like. Of course, she told him a few things. And I said, look, you have to find a better way of communicating when something is not to your liking. That's not the way. He's still there. You don't have a job. That's just not the way to do things. So
what's sad is this: if you don't learn it, then you're going to learn it eventually, right? So you're going to be your fifth job, and it's going to be the same issues. Eventually, I look at you and how you respond to it. And that's what's very important. Again, it goes back to that you do not want to give them the bullet, especially when they have the gun. So it's sort of all in you.
And that's what I told her. I said, she's 16. I said, sweetie, your entire life, you're going to be working various jobs or working in your career. There are going to be people that don't like you or whatever the case may be. I told you have to find a better way, what's wrong with walking away? Why do you have to say anything? And so, I'm working with her. I'm trying.
Yeah, while it's hot.
Right.
You calm down and get level-headed, and you're able to what you're going to say. It'll come out a little bit better versus emotions.
Exactly. Your former teacher, Mrs. Teresa McCoy,
hey, Ms. McCoy,
is here. Your former assistant principal, Mr. Stanley Price, is here.
Price.
You remember Mr. Price?
I do.
Vicky Council's here. All right, roll call. And Miss she's now Miss Barnes. She was McCoy when you were there. She said she is so proud of you.
Thank you, Miss McCoy.
Yes.
Miss Barnes, no, I'm sorry. Yep, it is.
Yeah, you're right. I still call her McCoy. So, yeah. So again, this is great. Now let me ask you something. Where do you see yourself in, say, 20 years?
In 20 years, I, of course, plan to have a very diverse portfolio in rentals, still doing real estate, of course, and, just spending quality time with my wife and my 3 boys, just kind of having that balance. Balance is something that I seek in life and doing whatever else the Lord has me to do. And I should have probably led with that, but whatever God has for me to do at that time, I just want to make sure I'm fully obedient to that.
Right. Those of you who are just coming in, right, Sugar Daddy, learn to play the game, right, K Will, poor work ethic. I told my students when they come to me, This teacher is racist. I don't want to hear it. Go in there, sit down, and shut up. I don't want to hear anything about the other person. If you go in there, sit down with your mouth closed and try to learn what they're teaching, I don't want to hear it. And so I shut them down real quick. So I told them, if you have work ethic, someone will give you a chance. And it is what it is. Like you said, what God has for you, no one can block you.
Absolutely.
So you have to be in, with the man upstairs too.
Absolutely.
What would you tell now? Those of you just coming in, I taught Omar in 2002 at Overhills Middle School. He was in the 7th grade. So, Omar, what would you tell your 2002 self now that you see where you are today?
Just slow down. Yeah, that's what I tell myself. Just slow down. I've always been like in a rush just to get to wherever it was. And sometimes we don't really stop to enjoy, the process.
Right.
We just kind of want to get to the next, like hurry up, get to the next. And that's always been me. Since 16, I've worked full time and went to school full time. And I just kind of threw myself into work, and I just kind of work hard. Again, it goes to back to your comment. Work ethic will take you places. I have a 4-year degree, but I honestly can't say that that 4-year degree was just it. It was the work ethic. I work hard to get wherever I got. So yes.
No one gave you anything.
Yeah,
no.
That's not it. If you show that you want it, if you want it bad enough, you do what it takes to get it.
And that's what I tell them. Of all of the awards and accomplishments that you've obtained to this point in your real estate career, we know you have several more years ahead of you. What's been the most important accomplishment or award?
I'm not a person that really cherish awards that much. But just coming home every day to my wife and my children who are proud of me. I think that's like, I don't know, that just does it for me. You can't give me a trophy. I don't even think there's a dollar amount in this world that kind of compares to that. Just being that example to my 3 sons, that is right. The best reward in my life. Like, my 3 sons have a dad that loves them and that want to show them, that the world is there. And I'm a daddy's boy. I love my dad, and I love my mother too. But my dad did that for me, and I'm able to do that now for my boys, and that's just the most rewarding thing. And come home to a wife, that feels the same.
Wow. And we know how important that is. So okay, everyone's still saying hello. All right, so Omar, I think I mentioned to you, like I said, I'm going to share this video with my students who want to become a part of the real estate agency as a career pathway. What would you suggest? What are some courses you would suggest students taking in high school that would help them? Okay, so when they go to college, they have that sort of a little bit of a background knowledge.
Definitely marketing. I think marketing was my favorite. Was my favorite class in high school.
Miss McCoy.
Miss Barnes, yes, I absolutely love marketing. I wanted to be a marketing major, but it goes back to me like being in a rush. I want to hurry up and get done with school. So I just did business administration with a concentration in general education or general studies. But marketing, you have to be able to effectively market yourself and just sort of not be cookie cutter and kind of stand out. So definitely marketing and whatever other business course that is currently offered. So, whatever your electives are, just kind of tailor them to that, knowing what you want to get to. And, again, those marketing classes sort of helped me during college because I kind of already had the foundation and it just naturally came easy for me. So that's just.
Right. So you definitely feel that, and obviously marketing is a CTE. Whoop, whoop. Now, I'm CTE. Look at Miss McCoy Barnes says she loves you.
I love you too, Miss Barnes.
I knew she would say that when you said that was her class was your favorite.
It was.
And that is so, you don't know what that does to a teacher. When a student says that, okay, Mr. Price said, yeah, CTE. That means so much. For those who aren't CTE teachers, our classes actually help students to determine a career pathway that they have an interest in. And that's why we're so, what we do is so vitally important. There are students, they may not like going to English. They may not like going to math. They may not like going to history, but they love CTE because they know they're coming and they're going to get some hands-on, activities, some hands-on experiences. That's going to help them with their pathway, their future. Miss Barnes said, she has a question for you. What are the 4 P's for marketing? What?
I definitely don't remember. I definitely don't remember.
Miss McCoy Barnes, you are a failure as a teacher.
No, she's not. I beg to differ. But I just want to support your statement. I took biology in 10th grade, and I took my first business class in 10th grade. And so all the way up until 10th grade, as long as I can remember, I just wanted to be a doctor. I just knew I was going to be a doctor. But I absolutely hated biology. And at the same time, I hated biology with a passion. I was like, I cannot do this. And this is what it's going to take to get to med school? No, thank you. And so at the same time, I took marketing or something to that avail. And it was just like, well, this is obvious. This is what I want to do. So that's what worked out. So I support this statement completely.
Did you take both levels of her course?
I did. Yes. I had her. And I also had co-op. And so co-op, let me tell you, I tell this story all the time. So I'm with Taco Bell. I've been with them for 16 years, right? And the only reason I stayed was because I took co-op. And we all know if you did not have a job, you failed the class. And I was trying to graduate. And so the only reason I even stayed and not quit that job was because of the class. And here we are 16 years later. I'm a dual career agent. I still work for Taco Bell. I'm a district manager. I support 7 stores. But my first week, I would have been gone if it was not for that class.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That is something. Sugar Daddy, he gave us the 3 P's: price, place, and promotion. And Miss McCoy Barnes also added that in the comment section. And Vicky Council's laughing because she's CTE. All the CTE teachers are representing. Kevin Williams, CTE is in the house, in the place to be. All right, so we got that. All right, there we go. All right, right, Miss Barnes, it's very true. CTE is vitally important. Prior to CTE, it was called vocational. It's the same thing. Learning hands-on experiences. And since you said that you didn't like biology, I'm sure you didn't take health science, correct?
Oh,
okay. So the good thing about our courses, you find out the career pathway you have an interest in, but you also find out the career pathway you're like, no, I don't want that. Okay. So that's okay, Sugar Dad. You got it priced. Okay. So I didn't want to take up your whole Sunday. I just wanted to, bring you on. We're all proud of you, your former teachers and assistant principals who are here in the chat. And you've done well for yourself. You took no prisoners, made no excuses. You just got out here and you had an excellent work ethic. It is definitely paying off for you. And we wish you nothing but much success in the future. So, parting words. What would you like to say? What do you want? I definitely want you to share because I don't know if anyone in the comment section is interested in purchasing a home, purchasing investment properties. How can you be contacted for people who may have a question, who may be interested in purchasing a home?
Very easily, guys. I am on all platforms as Omar Blue Advantage. That is Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok now. You can also email me, oblue@homes, HOMESCBA.com. Give me a phone call, 910-920-8100. Send me a smoke signal. I take those too.
Yes, and now those of you who have been here for a while, when the video ends, if you look in the description section up under the video, I already have his contact information. So anyone trying to buy a house, this is a young man that you need to see. Just give him a call. Okay. Let's see. Vicky Council said, when I return, I will need a bigger plate. Hey, there's some business right there for you, Omar.
Absolutely.
Mrs. McCoy Barnes said she wishes you much success. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And everyone in the chat section, let's thank Mr. Blue for coming out, spending his very valuable time. Sugar Daddy says, nice. Okay. This was wonderful. And again, we wish you nothing but continued success in the future, which I'm sure that won't be a problem because it looks like you have your head on straight. You have God first. That's all you really need. That's all you need. So again, we want to thank you for spending your very valuable time here at the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. And again, don't let this be the only time. Hey, if you want to come back in the future, hey, the market changes, you want to come back. And like I said, when I come on, I am doing a video on this, the discrepancies in selling price and how now African Americans are starting to sue these companies. So I wanted to talk to you. And when I do a video on that, I definitely want to have you come in and chime in on that as well. Vicky Council says, everyone says great. Thank you. Vicky Council says, thank you. Love your spirit. And yeah, and I'm going to talk to you once I end the live. Okay. All right. Yeah, everyone, thank you for coming out, spending time with the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel. Hey, if you know people who missed it, it will still be on the channel. That's okay. They can be the replay gang. Okay. Thank you. Lions Pride said great live. And thank you, Mr. Omar Blue. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
All right. You too. Now, I'm going to, end the broadcast. And all of you who are here, I'll be back next Sunday. Same time, 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you again for spending your very valuable time with the Rollins Reviews YouTube channel.